Alright, so today I want to talk to you guys about how to advance your music career when you have a full-time job. And now, I just quit my full-time job back in March, like literally before the world shut down. So I was doing this for a long time, figuring things out, making it work, and so I fully understand what it's like to be in that position, and now I want to help you so that way you can move from having a full-time job to making music your full-time job.
You know that we coming liars. I'ma keep praying to Gaia. Tell those little niggas stop it. Tell my mama that I got this. You know that we coming liar.
What's going on? It's Pimp Fried Rice. Welcome to the Music Into Millions podcast, the show where we give independent rappers the tools and resources needed to be successful without waiting on a record label. Like I said, I want to talk to you guys about how to take advantage of the time that you have when you have a full-time job. Because I know a lot of times if you're working, 30, 40, 50 hours a week, if not more, it can be very stressful. It can be difficult to feel like you have time to work on your music, to do really anything besides work. And it kind of gets daunting and boring and, so I wanted to help you move past that. So the first thing that you can do, and like I said, everything that I'm going to tell you guys today is from personal experience. I had a full-time job. I worked on fireplaces. Basically, I was a fireplace service tech. So what I did was like gas fireplaces, grills, fire pits, stuff like that. If someone had a broken one, or if it needed to be cleaned, or if it had an issue, or if they just needed a new part, I would go out, I'd fix it, I'd repair the part, clean it up, test it, do all that stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually really liked that job. I liked like the puzzle aspect of it. I liked what I was doing, but I'm a musician at heart, I'm a rapper, I'm a producer, so I didn't want to do that forever, which is why I was slowly making the moves for me to be able to transition to this full time, which is what I do now. And so the first thing that you need to do is basically just take advantage of your days off. So whenever you have a weekend off, or whatever day you have off, because unless you're working 7 days a week, which there are some people who work 7 days a week, and listen, I fully feel for you. I understand how stressful that is. There was a point in my life where I was working 7 days a week. I had 3 different jobs at one time. I get it. It's hard, it's stressful, and you are exhausted all the time. You still can make it work, even if you don't have a day off. Just stick around for the later points because they'll apply to you more. But for those of you who get a day off, first off, that's awesome, right? Second off, take advantage of it. So don't just hang out with friends, or be on your phone scrolling through Instagram, or be on Netflix, or play video games. Those are the days when you need to crack down. Like, you need to record, you need to mix songs or get them mixed by someone. You need to work on your marketing campaigns. That way you can start to promote your music, everything like that. But basically just take advantage of your days off, because any free time that you have should now be dedicated to your craft. If you're already taking 40, 50 hours out of your week to work, that only leaves you with, I was going to try and do the math on the fly, but I know I'm not going to be able to do it, with a few hours, because obviously you need time to sleep. Obviously you need some time to see your family, or your, people in your circle of life that you deal with constantly. But you only really have like upwards of maybe like 10 to 15 hours. I'm making this up. I don't know if that's a real number or not. But it's a very limited number of hours, so you need to take advantage of as many of them as possible. So like I said, write songs, record songs, mix them, come up with marketing campaigns, work on merchandise, book tour dates if you can, like in your area. Maybe there's local shops that allow you to perform, local clubs and bars, stuff like that. But that's what you need to do, is any free day that you have, do not look at it as having a day off now. Look at it as that is a day that you're working on your music. You get what I mean? And like, don't feel like you're never going to have a day off. If you absolutely need a break and like you're mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, it's perfectly okay to take a day off. There were plenty of times where I worked like a 60-hour week because it was a crazier week, and I was just like, I'm not going to touch it this week. That's okay, as long as you deal with the other points on this list, so that way you're still making up for lost time. So the next thing that you can do is use random time throughout your day. So like, I was a service tech, so what I did was basically I would get a list of names and customers in the morning, and then my job was I would drive to these people's house, fix their fireplace, then I'll go to the next person's house, fix their fireplace, then I'll go to the next person's house, fix their fireplace, until I was done my list of people for the day. Well, these people had like scheduled time appointments, and so if I was like early and I had a little bit of free time, what I would do is I would just go and park up at a Wawa, and I'd pull out my phone and I'd start to put together content, or I would start to network with people, or I would, even just sit back, put a beat on. Like, this is back when I was rapping and stuff like that. So I'd put a beat on, and I would literally just, start writing, start freestyling. There was even times, like, as I was a producer and doing this, where I would bring my laptop to work with me, and if I had any free time, I would start making beats, and I'd be able to knock out, like, maybe a beat or two throughout the day, just like as I'm picking it up and putting it down. So any free time you have throughout the day, even if it's 5 minutes, start to think of, like, even if you're on the bathroom taking a shit, instead of going on TikTok and scrolling through for 5 minutes, start to just pull out your notepad or, your notes on your phone and just start to write lyrics, or start to just network with people. Because do you know how many people you could really network with in 5 minutes on Instagram? You could network with a lot of people on social media in 5 minutes. It's just a matter of putting, your mind in that right place where it's like, okay, this isn't downtime. This is time where I can start to move myself in a new direction. You know what I mean? So next that you have to do is you just have to, this is the biggest and the hardest one, is sacrifice time with friends. There's going to be, whenever you want to be successful at anything, there's going to require a pretty great deal of sacrifice. So friends are going to hit you up and be like, yo man, let's go out this weekend, or let's, do this or do that. There's going to be a lot of times where you just have to say, look, I worked really hard this week. I didn't get a lot of time to work on my music. I need to, just hang back tonight. I'm going to work on some songs. Maybe I'll catch up with you guys next week. Maybe not. It'll depend on what's going on. I'm not going to lie. There are a lot of times where it's tough to say no to your friends, because obviously as humans, we love to hang out with our friends. We love to be around people we love and enjoy. And whenever you're working towards a goal or a dream, there's a lot of sacrifice involved. There's a lot of lonely nights. There's a lot of times where it's like everybody's out at the club or out at the bar, and you're in your home with, just listening through beats, and you're writing out songs, or you're reaching out to Spotify playlist curators. But these things are important for you to do if you want to take it to the next level with your music career. The people who are going out to the bars every Friday night and hanging out with friends all the time, they may look like they're living a rapper lifestyle, always getting drunk, always out with women, always spending money, but they're not getting any closer to, being a successful rapper. There are a lot of people I know who, I'm not going to call them out by name, but that's the lifestyle they live. They think if they're going out to the clubs and they're going out to the bars and they're just showing face, they're going to eventually blow up and be successful. And they drop songs like very infrequently. And I'm like, bro, that's the worst strategy for, getting big. You're not doing anything. And even I fell into that trap before. When I was younger, I used to perform at this hookah bar every Friday and Saturday night. And there was like 2 or 3 hookah bars that we would perform at. And I was like, yeah, bro, I'm blowing up. This is big. People know my name. But the thing is, it was like 5 people that knew my name, and it was the same 5 people that came to this hookah bar, and they may not have even been following me on like social media, because I wasn't doing any work outside of just performing at that hookah bar thinking I was, really dedicating to my career, but I wasn't. I was just wasting time. And then also, any free time you have in the car, like, you could listen to beats and just keep writing there, or practice your freestyling. Or even one thing I love to do when I'm in the car is just put on a podcast or put on a YouTube video of something you want to learn. Like, I'm not going to lie, I probably listen to I don't even have a number, but way less music than I really should, because the majority of time what I'm doing is listening to podcasts. Like, my car doesn't have a radio in it, which is complete shit. It also doesn't have AC, which sucks as well, but that's besides the point. So when I'm in my car, I'd literally just pull up a YouTube video and I just drive with my phone like this, and I just listen to the video, and it'll be on different stuff, like whether it be how to improve my email list, or it'll be how to market to rappers, or how to build a website, or how to reach out to Spotify playlists, or something about a distribution company. Literally anything in the world, just to keep my mind going and my mind moving on how I can progress my music career forward. And I did that back when I had a full-time job. I still do that now. Like, even when I'm driving to sessions, when I'm driving to friends' house, pretty much anytime I'm in my car, I'm listening to some type of educational program to, move my career forward. And the last thing, but also one of the most important things that you should be doing, is out of every single paycheck, regardless of how much money you make, if you make $200 every 2 weeks, or if you make $2,000 every 2 weeks, this still applies. Figure out a percentage of your paycheck that you're okay with putting to the side. And it's going to be different for every person, because everyone has different responsibilities, different bills, different things they need to take care of. But whatever number is okay with you, set that number to the side. Like when I worked for the fireplace company, I was making pretty good money. I was making, I think, like $1,200 per paycheck, which was every 2 weeks. So what I was doing was I put aside $130 every paycheck. And what I did with that $130 is I wouldn't touch it. And then when I needed something for my music career, whether it be merchandise, or I needed to pay for new equipment, or I needed to pay for, advertising, I would dip into that money because that was my music career money. And the reason that helped me is because if you get your paycheck and then you don't put any money to the side, it's inevitable that you're gonna spend it. You may have the greatest saving, habits in the world, but if that money's just sitting there and it's not allocated for something, or you don't set it aside for something specific, you're going to probably just spend it, or your money's gonna get tight and you're gonna be like, I need this money. But when you put it into this account or this little safe spot and you mark it for your music career, you are way less likely to touch it, and then that's how you start to build up money. And that's actually how I was able to save up enough money for me to quit my job and make this leap and become a full-time producer. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I'm actually curious, if you have a full-time job right now, let me know in the comments what your full-time job is, and let me know how soon you think you're going to be able to get out of that job if you put into practice these things that I talked about today. Other than that, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I want you to join the Music into Millions family. I'd love to have you. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can find out whenever we drop videos. Like the video, all that good YouTube stuff. Have a great rest of your day. Today's Labor Day, so I'm definitely going to go enjoy myself. Going to have a barbecue later. Peace.
I